Hi and welcome to the Bald Truth Review. This is a new idea I've got for the website where I'm basically going to take a quick look at the issues that have caught my eye in politics and in the media over the last 7 days or so. Now, something that really caught my eye was the issue of the Chief Minister and the question as to who is the Chief Minister, because I thought I'd voted for Senator Ian Gorst. But yet, in fair play to Lucy Mason-Stevenson in the Jersey Evening Post, she's let us know the real truth. The most powerful person in the States is not Chief Minister Gorst, it's apparently Senator Sir Philip Balash. Now, is that true? Well, if you doubted it, perhaps you should just go to another story that the Jersey Evening Post gave us this week. And that was the story of Plymouth and how the Chief Minister wants to buy it for us for the future. Now, I voted for Plymouth last time, and I probably will again, if it's a good financial deal. But the thing is, the headline was Chief Minister wants to buy Plymouth for Jersey. And who was on the front page? Wasn't Senator Gorst, was it? It was Senator Philip Balash. Of course, we shouldn't get too hopeful with the JP's new open and transparent reporting, because Lucy did get one thing wrong. She told us that the reason Senator Balash is the most powerful man in politics is because all states members trust him. Well, as I've said many times in the past, the reality is that most states members have got all the testicular fortitude of a eunuch. It's not because every states member trusts Senator Balash. No, they defer to the senator because they're scared. They defer to him because he used to be the bailiff. Not many people will stand up to him. Is that a good thing in politics? Well, I don't think it is. As for the issue of the senator's move towards Plymouth, well, they're telling us now that it'll only cost £8 million, but then they're going to sell it off for £2 million, because they're not mentioning the fact that there's going to be at least £1 million demolition costs involved. Is that a good deal? That's down to Senator Balash, the real Chief Minister, to sell to the states, I think. But it does lead us into another question, doesn't it? The other big key issue this week was around the Williamson report. The Williamson report into the Verita review and the ongoing saga of the terms of reference for this committee of inquiry that we desperately need to put the historic abuse scandal to bed. We paid $60,000 for Verita, and most of us are very happy with the terms of reference. Yet, obviously, behind the scenes, something couldn't be agreed with the Council of Ministers. Now, my insider, my mole in the ministry, says that, again, it's the real Chief Minister who wasn't happy with Verita. So what we're likely to get now is a watered-down version, a fudge. Can Chief Minister Gorst really afford to bring this fudge to us? I don't think he can. If you remember his election speech, he promised that this would be a thorough investigation. And we've already seen a pantomime, haven't we? We've seen former Chief Minister walk up, yes, no stone will be left unturned. Senator Chodis, then Chief Minister, went back on it. All the time this is playing with people's emotions, people who've been hurting for decades in many instances. That can't be right. So what I would say with this story is that if Senator Gorst cannot stand up and show some political backbone, I really think he's on shaky ground. In fact, maybe it would actually be better for him to stand down and let Senator Balash officially take over. Then he can stand or fall by his own actions. There's only one side to be on in this case, and that's justice. And that's what my colleagues, who are so good at keeping quiet and not wanting to rock the boat, need to remember. Another issue that's really caught my eye this week and seems to pass many people by was the call for yet another reclamation site. Now, this really should have people very concerned Anyone who remembers the saga, the ongoing saga of the waterfront, knows that it was highlighted by former Senator Sivray. This is basically a toxic ash dump. We've built apartments, very expensive apartments. We've built one of the most ugly hotels in Europe. We've built a load of fast food outlets. Nothing very iconic down there at all. Yet now, according to the Minister for TTS, Deputy Kevin Lewis, we need another one. And the subtext to all of this, and what should worry people, is that all we're doing is storing up problems for our future, for our children's future. We're not dealing with the issues now that we're creating. That can't be the way of sensible government. My final thing I want to talk about this week is the issue of parliamentary privilege. Now, parliamentary privilege is one of the cornerstones of democracy. The UK adhere to this absolutely. It might upset some people sometimes when it's used, but it's there for a reason. It exists so that the courts can't silence the government, and by account of that, actually take over the government's power. It allows politicians elected by the people to speak freely and without fear. Now, certainly some of the media got a bit upset this week by MP John Hemmings actually naming what was going on in Jersey. He talked about a certain super injunction. He talked about problems with a jurat in Jersey. He really should never have been allowed to be a jurat at all. It led to headlines in the JP talking about allegations without substance and a quite bizarre and appalling personal attack on the MP. It was tabloid stuff. It was the news of the world at its worst. We got stories about Mr. Hemmings' cat and other completely irrelevant nonsense. What the JP and all our media should be focusing on is why parliamentary privilege is there. Because as we saw in Jersey, that is under threat. I had to name a jurat recently in the States, and it led to absolute uproar. In fact, the name was ordered to be removed from the Hansard record. Effectively, a sort of 1984 rewriting of history. Now, can that be good for democracy? I don't think so. This subject, I think, is going to run and run, and people really need to be aware of how potentially dangerous this move is. If politicians can no longer speak freely, then we really are on a slippery slope. Right, that's all I really want to talk about this week. So please visit the site again, and hopefully I'll be back very shortly with another edition. Thank you.